to the Scouting Room Podcast with Dame and Dan. If you love NFL football, college football, and the NFL Draft, this podcast is for you. Touchdown! Dame and Dan will provide real analysis featuring analytics and film to back up their takes. Please sit down, grab your drink, and let's scout.
The Jacksonville Jaguars drafted wide receiver / corner Travis Hunter to be their 1B to Brian Thomas Jr.'s 1A. I think he's going to play a lot more receiver than corner. Let's look at the film here and see what he can do well. And you get the skip, walk, release, just tempo, it's like a slow dribble. We all watch basketball. For those who watch it, you see Luka, the Kyries, they go ISO at the top of the key, and they do a good job of being the just slowly dribble themselves into a rhythm. It's the same thing. You see them kind of slowly trot upfield, jog upfield, DBs waiting for the break point, expecting something super sudden, quick, and explosive. And nope, it's just really smooth. I pushed you upfield. I got him. And the key here, if you guys can notice it, look at the inside foot of this DB, right? He opens it up, and once you open it up, now you're in trail position, and it's just beat. The ball's right there on him. Great hands, good job, just being smooth, man. And I think that's one of the things that brings so much excitement to the receiver's position with Travis Hunter. Now, that skip walk release can get you in some trouble. And we're going to see it here. When guys are playing that soft shoe, soft press, where they're giving you about 3 to 4 yards off the ball, and they're squatting, you got to be careful because guys get their hands on you. And that's something that's one of my question marks for him playing full-time receiver is developing those counters against physical, handsy corners. And you see him get hands on, dead the rep in a sense. Here on the outside, we're going to get mesh concept. He's going to be on the crosser, the shallow cross. He's the single guy, and you got mesh. And it frees him up. But then it's the ability to decelerate, stop momentum, then gear back up as a runner after the catch. Travis Hunter is really, really, to me, he's got special ability and special potential with the ball in his hands. Explosive, dynamic, sudden. He's a threat to score at any moment, and we're going to see that here. Now, is a kind of a slant here, right? Kind of a slant. His routes can use a little bit more urgency sometimes, but you're playing off, right? He stems it. Nice small little plant there. And yeah, he's not open. You got an underneath defender who then eyeballs him, head on the swivel, shot to the defender, right? That underneath defender, head on the swivel, locates the route that in the receiver that's threatening his zone and his area. Now you try to double team with the face guard, and he breaks his ankles. Let me roll that back for you guys to just watch it in real time, right? You see it? He face guards, breaks his ankle, makes him touch earth and get to the spot. And this is what Shador, who's not a mobile quarterback, he's barely functional. You know what I mean? He's barely functional at all as a runner, but he's functional. So pairing him with the Trevor Lawrence, and what that means is Trevor Lawrence is a good athlete. This is a 6'6" guy that can run. He's got wheels, and he can create with his legs. And if he does that and create those scramble drills, those second reaction plays and throws, yeah, Travis Hunter is going to have a lot of success because he detaches and does a good job. And here, this is why, again, after the catch, getting the ball in his hands in space is what you typically want to do with a Travis Hunter. I've always said that he reminds me of a punt returner in the way that he has spatial awareness, feel for space, feel for defenders around him. And he just does a good job. Now you're going to stem this upfield, right? And you're dealing with zone. So anytime you're dealing with zone and you see that the guy is about to, he's backpedaling, then he turns to a side saddle bail. He's trying to read you down. Now, work to the middle of the field. Be under control. This is a guy who's played both ways of the football, guys. He's played corner. He's played receiver for pretty much his entire career in college, from Jackson State to Colorado. But his ability to settle down, he runs his routes with control. He's not out of control when he's moving around. And you see that here. Get to the spot, settle, catch the ball, and now look for exits so that you can then work around defenders or try to get some yards after the catch. The one thing about this here is this part. Like, yeah, you can this right here when you plant and turn. No, big fella. Like now you're getting a head-on collision. This could have been a lot worse than what it looked like. In the NFL, that Roquan Smith, that Zaire Franklin, those type of guys who want to hit, yeah, you got to be weary with that. Got to be weary with that. Okay. Now here, one of his best plays in the game, believe this was the UCF game, where he looks like he's running across it, but he takes it up the field, tracks it, and he tracks it with late hands. I love the fact that he utilizes late hands because it never tips the DB off to the ball being in flight or the ball being near or close to them, right? So because typically as a DB, if you read the eyes of the quarterback of the receiver, read their hands, and their hands are prepared and ready for the ball, not to fight with you as the DB, but to fight for the ball and go up for the ball. Now you know the ball's on the way, it's almost there, and you can punch through the pocket and rake through the hands. Not in this particular situation with Travis Hunter. He does a really good job, again, flashing late hands, but jostling for position, doesn't tip the guy off, and then snatches it over his head, takes it off the fridge, throw it where the kids can't get it. Here, this is going to be a go route here in the kind of high red zone, fade ball, late hands, great grab, body control, can be able to contort. This is a guy that can detach his upper and lower body to be able to make outstanding grabs like this, and everything. So really impressive athlete, but impressive player when the ball is in the air and he's got to make a decision and make a play. Watch him track it, lay hands, tough grab. You could have thrown a flag. I don't know if they did or not, but could have thrown a flag. Another example of him being able to work mesh concept, work through guys trying to get hands on, and then settle down real quick. Settle down before we get to that illustration. Watch how he does this, right? Evade, get to a spot, settle, boom. Now you go from me when I look at guys in terms of run after catch guys, from a scouting standpoint, how quickly can you transition from route runner and receiver to runner? How quickly can you transition? Watch this here. You got 4 guys had to have him boxed in, right? He made one guy missing his ability to stop, plant, and then drive back upfield. You would think when you see 4 guys kind of squared or boxed in around the ball, yeah, not really. He has the juice. He has the acceleration, the burst, the speed, the dynamicism after the catch and as an athlete to make these type of plays, man. So he's a dangerous type of weapon. And again, from a body type standpoint, I don't foresee him being wide receiver 1A. I think he's going to be 1B. And that's great. If I'm Jacksonville, I love it, right? And here's another thing that he does so well: finding the soft spots, working towards the open void in the defensive coverage shell, and then getting to it and being available. You see him work right into it, catch the ball. Now make a guy miss, and you see the speed that make another guy miss. That vertical lateral cut where he's not just jump cutting; it's just a one step, just jab cross the face of the defender. Watch him catch the ball. Now, nice little plant and go, walk in for the touchdown. Now, some things that could bother him: size, length, height, weight, arm wingspan. These things could end up giving him trouble, right? I think it was Tacario Davis, the star corner in Arizona, who I believe hit into the transfer portal. You see him get hands on, slow down the route, makes it a very difficult grab for Travis Hunter in this particular situation. So you have that, and it's like you want to see him make that play, but he's not in a position to truly make that play. Here's another opportunity: get hands on. Don't allow him. Tacario doesn't allow him to knock his hands down, dislodge his hands. He does a good job staying attached. And typically when you're attached like that, especially early in the rep, it makes it hard for the quarterback to even justify throwing that ball, no matter who you are. Now, unless you're Megatron or Julio Jones. You see him here. You would have thought that he was going to outrun this guy right out the gate. Here, he's even. Looks like he has the leverage upfield, but Tacario Davis does a good job closing that space, making it a difficult grab. And I think that's where I want to see him just improve, is dealing with these physically imposing corners, the Tariq Woolens of the world, guys like that, and guys that can run with you. If they can run with you, armbar you to the sideline, they can have you. But nonetheless, I look at Travis Hunter not just as the Heisman, not just as the do it all, just two-way player. This was a great and near elite prospect. And I think he's going to have a really good impact on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guys, remember, please stay tuned with us here at the Scouting Room. Got a podcast coming. NFL podcast is on the way, and I will be dropping that Dante Thornton Jr. Breakdown for those Raider fans that were in the chat, in the comment section just a couple of days ago. So stay tuned with me here at the Scouting Room.